Alrighty, folks. Well, guys, come load some silage with me. And there's a stick in there. It's a big stick. Alrighty, guys, come load some corn silage with me into this Apache hay wagon right here. So, guys, this is actually some year-old silage. Well, actually, a bit longer than a year. So this is our corn silage that we cut every summer. And this was kind of shown and everything to you all. Let me get my backhoe cranked up. Uh-oh, she's a little sluggish today. So guys, this was what we did about a summer and a half ago. Not last summer, but the summer before. So a bit over a year. And she's held up good for us. I've got about, I don't know, a quarter of a bag or so. So we're good to go. But I'm going to load it for you. I'm going to kind of talk back and forth a bit some. I do have my microphone on me here today, so that is wonderful. But we're going to load it. And then, that's a good scoop there. That's what I like about this backhoe, is you can just, it's got the four-wheel drive in the front, and you can sit there and kind of lay into it. So what I like to do, instead of just driving right over where I'm at, you know, cutting a lot of holes right in there where the silage is at, I take the long route. I wish my dad would have kind of parked it maybe just a bit different, but hey, I'm not going to fight too much. So guys, watch with me here. And we're going to have to take several of these as well. And then I've got my truck parked over there with another one. Now I'm taking this to the yearling bulls. These are the 8 to 10 to even 12-month-old bulls. We kind of just group them and call them the yearling bulls. So that's kind of what we do there. But maybe my camera won't die. I don't think it will. But all right. So what I like to do right here is load kind of front to back. I like to put a lot more weight on the front, kind of there on the tongue, instead of there in the back. And I'm going to slide forward just a hair and kind of dump it. Now, this bucket on this backhoe isn't super huge. It's not like one of your big loader buckets. You can tell there, that was a good scoop there. That was full to the brim. A bit of it shook out as I was driving. Don't tell my dad I wasted some. But you can probably tell. So, it's very dry right now like it is anywhere else. And you can probably tell, I don't know how much of the ground you can see off that camera, but it's very dry, so we're doing okay. But it gets very nasty in the last videos that you've probably seen of me doing this. Very nasty job, and you can put ruts all in this stuff. Big scoop. It's kind of how you like it. You want a big scoop. So in terms of this bucket, you really kind of want to lay it flat and then kind of push into it and pick up and curl your wrist. Or I say curl your wrist, but curl your bucket, to say the least. I go in the center, and then the more you get out of the center of that bag, and then you can start to go to the edges and get all of it there. So it's kind of what we like to do it. Now this Apache trailer, this is the biggest one we've got in terms of the silage, in terms of what it can hold. I think we've got 2 of these size at least, and the one I've got on my truck parked over there, it's a bit smaller. So, uh-oh, you're spilling some, Will. All right, so another dump right here for you folks. Just kind of edge up with it. And then I'm not going to dump super fast. I kind of want to see, hey, do I need to come up, which I do, and where do I need to be? You want to hear that little clank. So guys, I'm hooking my brakes up, and I kind of like when we have, I'll put it to you straight, guys. When the backhoes tore up, which this one's been giving us some issues, so we've had this for quite a while, but this thing during COVID probably sat still for, I know, well over 2 years. I don't know if it was quite 3 years, because we needed a fuel pump, and this is a New Holland model, needed a fuel pump. Well, it was like made in China or somewhere like that. So trying to get it to come to Alabama, America in general, was a bit tedious. So yeah, we had to let it sit there. And we got it, it worked good, replaced the hydraulics, and that was huge for us, you know, getting it back up and running. And then you turn around, it tears up again. Fuel pump once again. It was a bit easier the next time to get it, but not quite as bad as it was the first time. So the reason I like this one is because it's kind of like a skid steer in a way, just the way it's kind of faceted. And what I mean by that, so like on the John Deere, like when we've got our 4440 hooked up to the bucket, slide forward a bit, it's got a very small bucket, but also you have to always change gears and it takes forever. But this, I'm just kind of a forward and reverse, and I'm pressing a gas pedal, so it's very, very good there. So that was a bit smaller of a bucket load there, and the reason for that is because I kind of caught one of the sides, and you can't get a very full bucket when you get kind of the edges. You just kind of got to go with it. So there's a bit of some knowledge there for you folks. Big buckets once again. So although this stuff is a bit over a year old, it still smells oh so good. It smells about as fresh as it is the day you chop it. Now we got 4 of these bags when we did that, you know, the year before last. But this last year we got like one big one, and we got, I wouldn't say a half, like just a quarter of a bag, and that was on the same acreage. But the guys that did it for us this year had a new system, and they got a huge packer. I mean, it is just, shoot, I guess 2-story tall, 2.5 stories tall, maybe even 3. So I'm not quite positive there. So as you can kind of tell, I am stacking this kind of full. I'm going to put two more big loads in it, as I'd say. You kind of want them to have a lot, but you're also thinking about too, you got tires, you got the axles down there. Although this can hold a lot, you still don't want to overfill it. If you do that, that's when you can start tearing some stuff up. and for those of you that have done this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you start tearing some stuff up, it's very tough, like hay feeder or a silage wagon, excuse me there. It's tough on that kind of stuff, especially, you know, it gets very muddy and very dirty around where they're feeding at, just because how they stand there all day. It gets muddy, so all that sand and such, especially here down south, all that sand and stuff gets in those bearings and start to tear those up. So the easier you can be on your equipment, the better, to say the least. But as we all know as farmers, nothing's ever easy. So let me put it kind of right here in the middle of these two. Just kind of put some weight in front of that axle. Alrighty. I'll put one more bucket on the front side of it, and I could probably do about 2 more buckets. I know I told y'all 2, I'm not lying to you, but it's all about gauging it, kind of how you're seeing it and such too. And this is not weighed. I know a lot of stuff, especially if you're using a mixing wagon, you can weigh a lot of that, but this is not going to be weighed. This is all just kind of, hey, this is what looks good. Moving forward. But I wish I had another camera. I could kind of show you both worlds and kind of splice those 2 videos together. But I got to keep growing and got to keep getting some more into this to be able to do that. But this is a try at me trying to make some long form videos here on YouTube. And you know, it's a big difference from, say, the short videos and such like that. So I'm going to try to do some of these here and there and stuff, especially on some stuff that maybe interests me, but I feel like also a lot of you guys could get a lot out of it as well. So Y'all just kind of stay tuned for some more. And guys, I can't thank y'all enough for, all the support over these last several years that I've gotten from you all. It's been just awesome. I have had an absolute blast doing this, to say the least. It has been very, very fun. I never thought, I say this all the time, I never thought this would be kind of my life per se. I never anticipated going after social media marketing or anything like that. I just kind of started doing it for fun, and I saw a lot of you kind of enjoyed that as well. So this has been very fun. It's been super enjoyable. But guys, it's also been very unique, to say the least, in terms of, say, hey, how to change some things year to year, even month to month. What are you guys looking for? And then, as I started with the marketing and doing for companies and farms and even marketing my own bulls, that's been a big undertaking as well. Very fun, to say the least, but it's been very cool to kind of learn, hey, this is what not only the social media world is, but also what social media marketing, or shoot, even how to use the camera right. It would be very embarrassing. You go back to my very first videos, some 2-3 years ago, it'd be very embarrassing to say, hey man, that's what I did? What kind of crazy things was I thinking or saying or doing? But it's one of those deals that I've noticed that you can just grow extremely well with. Your talents, your skills grow as you grow as well. So I'm gonna leave it at that. That's a full load for me there. And I've got that one hooked up to our 3500 right there. So guys, this is kind of what it's gonna look like for us here. Let me go turn off the camera and put the bucket down. But guys, thanks for following along. Been super fun right here. I think it's neat to kind of show, hey, this is what it looks like. So that's kind of what it looks like filling up the silage wagon. Hope you all enjoy and stay tuned for what is next to come.